Hi, Taurus. I know you've been trying to hold it all together lately, keeping the peace, staying grounded, staying strong for everyone else. But there's something shifting this week, and it's not going to wait for you to feel ready. Something unexpected may unfold in the next 3 to 5 days. It could be a sudden goodbye, the quiet unraveling of a connection you thought was solid, or a jarring moment in your work or family life that knocks the breath out of you. It won't always come with warning signs. Sometimes it slips in softly, like a conversation that doesn't go the way you imagined, a silence that grows heavier each day, or a moment where something once reliable just doesn't feel like home anymore. Taurus, this isn't about losing control. It's about realizing you never had to grip so tightly in the first place. Whatever is ending now has already served its sacred purpose. What you've been carrying emotionally, energetically, even physically has reached the point of release. Not because you failed, but because you're ready to grow beyond it. This moment isn't here to destroy your stability. It's here to redefine it. Keep watching. What feels like falling apart may actually be the foundation of something real finally breaking through. Taurus, if you're here, it's not by accident. You felt the tension for days now, quiet, heavy, sitting behind your thoughts like a weight you couldn't name. And maybe you've tried to stay busy, to distract yourself, to tell yourself it would pass. But this pain, this ache that's been rising slowly like a tide, it's not something to be ignored. Because underneath that discomfort is something sacred, something important, something your soul has been trying to tell you for a long time. It's time to let go. Not everything you've nurtured was meant to stay forever. Some things came into your life to teach you, to grow you, to prepare you for a deeper level of strength and truth. But Taurus, not everything that once served you still belongs to the version of you that you're becoming. And the longer you hold on out of loyalty, out of habit, out of fear, the heavier it gets. And the more it costs. Pain is not the enemy. It's the messenger. It arrives not to punish, but to point. It shows up at the doorway between chapters, asking you if you're ready to release what's expired, even if your heart still calls it home. And I know your loyalty runs so deep that you'll stay long after you've outgrown something, hoping it might still change, still return to what it once was. But this is not the kind of pain that waits for you to be ready. This is the kind that comes to cut the cord before it cuts into you. You may find yourself standing in the ruins of something you tried your best to protect, a relationship, a dream, a version of your life that once made sense, and you'll want to make it make sense again. You'll look for signs that maybe it can still be saved, still be repaired, still be carried forward. But deep down, you'll know that part of your story has already ended. What you're experiencing now is not a failure, it's a clearing. And Taurus, clearing hurts. It pulls at the roots. It exposes everything you tried to keep safe under the surface. It leaves space where you were used to structure. But that space, it's not emptiness, it's potential. And this pain you're feeling, it's the invitation to stop watering what no longer grows, to stop tending to what no longer blooms, to stop investing your energy in something that doesn't nourish your becoming. This week, your heart may feel stretched in ways it hasn't before. You may find yourself having to say goodbye to something you thought you couldn't live without. You may feel the sting of disappointment, the confusion of change, the silence where there used to be certainty, and in those moments, you'll be tempted to retreat, to turn off your emotions, to rebuild the old walls. But don't. Not this time. Because this pain is not here to break you. It's here to show you what's no longer aligned with your future. It's here to remind you that peace is not found in control, it's found in surrender. And I know that's not easy for you. You crave stability. You anchor deeply into the known. But what if true stability isn't about holding on tightly, but about trusting yourself enough to let go of the need to be right, Let go of the hope that things will return to how they were. Let go of the belief that your worth is tied to how much you can carry. Fix. Hors endure. Let go of the roles you've been playing to keep other people comfortable while your soul has been quietly aching for something more. This moment in your life is not small. It's a soul pivot, a redirection, a release of old patterns, old expectations, old attachments that have been whispering their goodbye long before you were ready to hear it. You are not losing what is meant for you. You are only losing what can no longer grow with you. And Taurus, there is power in that kind of loss. There is clarity in the breaking. There is wisdom in the ache. Let yourself grieve it. Let yourself feel it without rushing to package it as a lesson. Let yourself fall apart without trying to hold the pieces together. Because sometimes the most profound transformations begin not with answers, but with surrender. You don't have to know what comes next. You don't have to explain your pain to anyone. You just have to stay present with yourself as you move through it. Let the tears come. Let the silence speak. Let the stillness teach you what all the noise tried to cover. Your body knows. Your spirit knows, and it will carry you through. One day soon, this pain will make sense. You'll look back and see that it wasn't a punishment, it was a sacred disruption. The moment the universe stepped in and said, "You're not meant to shrink yourself to fit this anymore." And on that day, you'll thank the fire for what it burned away. You'll thank the ache for what it revealed. You'll thank the letting go for all that it made room for. Because what's coming next is cleaner, stronger, truer. What's coming next will not require you to abandon yourself in order to keep it. It will meet you where you are. It will honor your energy. It will recognize your depth. But first, you have to clear the space. So Taurus, as hard as this week may be, I know this, the pain you feel now is not a sign that you're weak, it's a sign that you're healing. It's a sign that you're finally choosing yourself. And that choice, no matter how much it hurts in the moment, will be the very thing that changes everything. Let it go. Let it fall. Let it be what it was meant to be, a season. A chapter, a leçon, not a life sentence. Because what's meant for you is not leaving. It's waiting right on the other side of your willingness to let go. Taurus, if only you knew what was waiting on the other side of this release. You wouldn't be so afraid to let go. Because the truth is, what feels like loss right now is actually an invitation into a new version of yourself, one that doesn't settle, one that doesn't dim, one that no longer asks for permission to take up space. Yes, it hurts. Yes, it's disorienting. Yes, part of you still wants to go back and make it all make sense. But that version of you, the one who kept the peace at all costs, the one who stayed silent to avoid conflict, the one who prioritized being needed over being seen, was never meant to carry you into the next chapter. That version was sacred, necessary, protective. But now, you are being asked to step beyond survival, into sovereignty, into expansion, into you. What you've outgrown isn't just the relationship or the job or the role you've played. It's the self-perception that told you it was okay to keep pouring from a cup that never got filled. It's the belief that love must be earned, that your softness is a liability, that your worth is measured by how much you can carry without breaking. But Taurus, you were not born to be a container for everyone else's needs. You were born to become a vessel for your own truth. And that truth is rising now. Through the cracks, through the grief, through the stillness that's been following you lately. This is not just healing. This is remembering. Remembering your boundaries. Remembering your intuition. Remembering the strength that was never loud but always steady. The strength that said, even if I'm afraid, I'll keep showing up. The strength that stayed when others left. The strength that didn't ask to be seen, but now it demands to be honored. And honoring yourself doesn't mean you have to shout or prove or defend. It means making quiet choices that feel aligned even if no one else understands. It means no longer explaining your boundaries to people who are committed to crossing them. It means walking away from what is draining, even when it once felt like home. And it means turning inward and asking, what do I need now that I've never given myself permission to want? Because this rebirth you're stepping into isn't about becoming someone new. It's about becoming more you than you've ever been. You're not rebuilding from scratch, you're rebuilding from truth. And truth, Taurus, is magnetic. It's the frequency that pulls in what actually belongs to you, not what you've been chasing out of fear or clinging to out of habit, but what mirrors your real energy. You'll start to feel it soon. Even if it's subtle at first, the conversations that feel nourishing, the spaces where you no longer feel the need to perform, the relationships where your silence is understood, where your presence is enough, and when that happens, you'll realize that what you lost wasn't meant to stay, not because it wasn't good, but because it wasn't meant for the version of you that's finally ready to take the lead in your own life. This is your becoming, and it won't happen all at once. Some days will feel expansive, others will feel hollow, but each moment is part of the weaving of your new life, your new rhythm, your new way of being. And this time, it's not built on sacrifice. It's built on self-trust. You'll stop over-explaining. You'll stop apologizing for needing space. You'll stop asking people to meet you halfway when they're still standing at the start. And instead, you'll redirect your energy inward, not out of fear, but out of devotion, because when you are devoted to your own peace, your own clarity, your own alignment, the universe has no choice but to meet you there. And when it does, Taurus, you'll see it everywhere. In the opportunities that flow without forcing, in the relationships that expand without consuming, in the way your body softens when you finally feel safe to rest. You'll find power in your presence. You'll find safety in your own timing. You'll find joy not in having everything figured out, but in knowing you no longer need to. This is the moment when your life becomes yours again, not curated, not diluted, not filtered through who you thought you needed to be, but raw, real, and entirely your own. And that is the gift of this season. That is what the pain made room for. So grieve what's gone. Honor what was. Bless the lessons. And then, with quiet conviction, turn toward what's next. Turn toward you. Because what you're building now won't require performance. It will require presence, and what you're becoming, it doesn't need to be earned. It only needs to be remembered. You are your own home now, and it's time to move in. Taurus, you're not just having a hard week, you're standing at a spiritual threshold. And while it may feel like everything is breaking apart, the truth is the universe is rearranging everything to align you with a higher frequency, one you didn't even know you were ready to hold. What you're feeling now, the loss, the loneliness, the confusion is not chaos. It's a divine invitation, a summons, a whisper from your soul that says there's more for you, but not if you stay where you've been. This week is not meant to destroy you. It's meant to activate you, and that activation often comes disguised as disappointment, a conversation that stings, a door that closes, a silence that stretches longer than you thought it would. It's not punishment, Taurus. It's preparation. And the only question now is, are you willing to rise into what you were born for? Even if it means letting go of what kept you comfortable. You've outgrown the version of yourself that always needs to be okay for everyone else. You've outgrown the version that confuses peace with passivity. You've outgrown the need to explain your intuition, to justify your boundaries, to apologize for your depth. And now, you are being called not just to protect your energy, but to wield it. This is a destiny week. The kind that reroutes the path, the kind that forces you to choose alignment over attachment, and that choice may feel lonely, especially if others don't understand. But Taurus, You are not here to be understood by everyone. You are here to be understood by yourself. And this pain, it's just the pressure point that gets you to listen more deeply, to stop betraying your own knowing, to stop shrinking in spaces that ask you to mute your magic. You are being initiated into a higher version of your life. But the old version doesn't go quietly. It tugs. It tempts. It asks you to come back, to stay small, to keep playing safe. And that's why it hurts, because you're caught between the gravity of your past and the pull of your becoming. But Taurus, becoming always wins if you let it. What's happening now is not just emotional, it's energetic. Your nervous system is recalibrating. Your patterns are unraveling. Your soul is cleansing timelines that no longer serve. And while your mind may not understand all of it, your spirit does. That's why you feel called to rest more, to be alone more, to sit in silence longer than usual. That's why things that used to excite you now feel empty. That's why you feel the ache not just for something different, but for something truer. This is the moment you stop repeating cycles out of loyalty. This is the moment you stop explaining your boundaries to people who never intended to respect them. This is the moment you stop asking life to be easy and instead ask yourself to be real. You don't need to fix everything right now. You don't need to know how it all ends. You only need to trust that this pain has purpose. That what's crumbling is not the end of you, but the end of what you no longer need. And when that falls away, something sacred is revealed. Your voice, your clarity, your power. You are not too late. You are not off track. You are exactly where your soul needs you to be in the in-between. Between chapters, between identities, between what was and what will be. And that space is uncomfortable, but it's also holy, because this is where you meet yourself, not as who you were taught to be, but as who you really are. This is where you stop performing and start feeling. This is where you stop waiting for validation and start honoring your own knowing. This is where you remember that you don't need a map when you are the compass. The pain you're in this week may be the final echo of an old story. A chapter where you had to prove yourself. A chapter where you gave too much. A chapter where you mistook being chosen for being loved. And now, as that chapter ends, you may grieve not just the people or places or plans, but the version of you that lived through it all. Grieve her, bless her, thank her, and then release her. Because the version of you that is rising now is bolder, clearer, more rooted in truth. She doesn't beg. She doesn't explain. She doesn't shrink. She walks into rooms with her head high, not because she's fearless, but because she knows who she is, even when no one else claps. Taurus, this is your spiritual graduation. You don't need another sign. You are the sign. And if you've been waiting for permission to stop playing small, here it is. If you've been waiting for a moment to finally choose your truth, here it is. If you've been waiting for life to slow down so you can catch up, this is that moment. Take it. Feel it. Let it change you. Because after this week, you won't go back. You'll rise, not because you forced it, but because you finally allowed it